Hey Virgo, Ashley here. We're going to do your reading for the end of November. So this will be the week of the 22nd. We're just going to wrap up the entire month with this reading. And this reading is going to focus on a little bit of gratitude and kind of just like a celebration of everything you've accomplished this year. So in this first row, we're going to look and see what it is that you should give yourself a little bit more credit for, right? A lot of times we get through something and we move on to the next thing, and we don't take enough time to really, kind of celebrate our wins, even if they were hard won, right? In this next row, we're going to see what your guides would like to bring in for you as far as messages about, things they've recognized that you have done really well with. And we're getting broken open. And in the final row, we're going to look at what's good is coming in. Between now and the end of the year, what can you look forward to, Virgo? So I kind of just wanted to do a feel-good reading. We're kind of kicking off the holiday season, and sometimes that brings in quite a bit of stress for a lot of people, especially after the last couple years we've had collectively. So I wanted to take a little time to kind of celebrate what we've accomplished and give us something good to look forward to that might be coming in between now and the end of 2021. We have shift the way to new potential. So kind of Wheel of Fortune energy I'm getting from that card. Now I've never used this oracle deck, so we're going to read from the book when we get to that. But I thought it would be fun to try bring in some new energy here. So let's see what all these rows are talking about. We're going to pull some tarot and clarify. Kind of see what messages want to come through for the Virgos watching. Now with Taurus, I got a ton of different stories. And for others, I've just had kind of a basic message. So we'll kind of see what shows up here. And let me know down in the comments what you think of this reading. Alright. We have the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Wands, Five of Swords, and the Three of Swords. Six of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Queen of Swords. So, Virgo, it looks like you have been through it. We've had a lot of endings show up in these readings, and it kind of looks like to me you have probably experienced a fast kind of overwhelming ending this past year. So could have been with a soulmate. We got the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we're gonna see what comes through here now. Oh yeah, and the Two of Cups under that. Okay. So, Uncharted Sea. So something you really need to acknowledge for yourself is that something about this, the events of this past year, really threw you into uncharted territory here. Could have been a fast change, which is what I'm feeling with that Tower, that Knight of Swords, the Eight of Wands. Something happened quickly. Probably as a result of a lot of emotion and drama. And You kind of got thrown right into the depths of your own emotions. Could have been a situation where you had to become independent in some way and kind of go off on your own here without knowing what the future would hold, and certainly put you in a situation that you had yet to experience, right? And I think in a lot of ways you had to use your intuition and the inner wisdom within you in order to guide you. It was like the only thing that was kind of your compass. As you can see, we have all this water. So to me, that's there's a lot of emotion and a lot of intuition coming into play for you. And I feel like perhaps this change happened. It could have been a relationship. I do feel like that's coming through strongly here. But even if it was a work position, I think it happened because you probably saw the truth about just how unbalanced things were. Now, if you recall, this year we had a lot of activity in the sign of Libra. We did that bonus reading on the Mercury retrograde in Libra. And that was very heavily relationship focused, where we took a really hard look at our relationships and whether or not they were balanced. And I think a lot of people collectively found that they were not. And so I think that's part of why we're seeing so much of that come through in these readings. So let's get some more detail here. Let's see what else we can get. The Knight of Swords. We have the Three of Pentacles. And the High Priestess. With the Eight of Swords, we have Justice. There's that Libra. And the Four of Cups. And with the Six of Pentacles, we get the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So I do feel like I'm going to throw out what I'm seeing here. It may not all resonate with you, so just take what does and leave the rest behind, because I do feel like it's going to be a little bit different for everyone that watches. For some of you, I feel like you found out about a third party situation. Took you by surprise. Could have been a work affair, like a love affair at work. Like your partner had a love affair at work and you found out about it. Perhaps even from the person they were having an affair with. And so I do feel like that led to perhaps a divorce, definitely a split up here that you weren't expecting. For others, I feel like there was some kind of unknown information that came out about in the workplace or in a relationship situation, and there was something you had to stand up for. Like perhaps you decided to end it because there was a lot of unfairness taking place here, and it had become completely unsatisfying emotionally for you. There was no more inspiration here, and you just decided it was time to move forward. Whatever story that, resonates with you, ultimately you're seeking balance and truth, and you decided to go off onto this journey into the unknown using only your intuition. And I think you're being, asked to look at that and celebrate that, because it took a lot of courage, and it took a lot of development of that intuitive aspect of yourself. And, that's hard work, right? Kind of developing that intuition and then trusting it can take some time, because it's not it's not one of those senses that we use every day intentionally until we hit a certain point, and we have to start using our intuition when there's nothing else to guide us, right? So I do feel like this has definitely been a painful situation as well, and so I do feel like you've been kind of riding the waves of those emotions as they come up, and I think that that's being encouraged here to just kind of let them come up and out as they show up. So let's look and see what your guides have to say. I think your guides are really, what I really feel from this, and this card has come up for some other signs here. I want to say it was one of the fire signs perhaps that got this message from their guides. But in this situation, I feel more it's like they're trying to acknowledge just how much pain you have endured by this ending that took place. And one, they want you to recognize that even though it was so painful, it has opened up and humbled you, and so from this point forward, as you continue to heal, your heart is actually quite a bit more expanded than it ever was before. Now, but I feel like mostly the message that's coming through with that is that it almost feels like a hug, like you're getting a hug rather than a pat on the back and a good job, even though I do feel like that is what they want to give you, is a high five for how strong you've been. But to me it feels more like they just want to acknowledge that you've had a lot of pain here. I hadn't noticed this before, but she's sitting on this lotus, but there's like angel wings underneath it. And so I do feel like you've been supported the whole time. If that's not something you normally tap into and feel into, that would be something to kind of open yourself up to, maybe even meditate on, because I do feel like you're definitely being held at this time. We have the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Tower. So definitely an ending here, a painful one. Could have been a lot of conflict when it came right down to it. A lot of fighting that took place. Somebody here that you were dealing with, whether it was a partner, a boss, a coworker, even a friend, was being very selfish here, especially if you're in that situation where a third party was introduced. Let's see what we get for clarifiers. Ten of Pentacles, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands. With the Five of Swords, we have the Eight of Wands again. I feel like this definitely happened very quickly. And the Fool. It's like you weren't even given a choice. Like, for example, if you found out your partner was doing something in a third party here, I almost feel like you weren't even given the opportunity to be angry about it, because it's like you found out about it and they might have even been the ones to initiate like a divorce, if that's your situation. It's like they cut it off. So you didn't even get the satisfaction of bringing it to an end yourself, if that makes sense. I just feel like it happened so fast and you were just left dumbfounded and hurt. So it's not even like you were able to kind of like put your foot down and put an end to something. I feel like that applies to maybe even just one of you out there. With the Tower, we get the Tower. and the Magician. So I do feel like, for some of you, I feel like this was a karmic relationship sent your way simply to kind of break you open and humble you. Not as a means of punishment, but to kind of open you up to the next aspects of your path here. So take that as it resonates. It may have felt like completely out of your control, right? Like you didn't have a choice. Like that's what I keep getting here. Like even if your choice would have been to leave this person because of their betrayal, you weren't even given the opportunity to make that choice. But I feel like part of what this was for was to expand you. And kind of, and I feel like part of you, like who resonate with the, you know, when I've been saying you didn't even have a choice, you didn't even have time to think about it. I feel like part of it was just kind of like a weird divine timing kind of thing. It's like you needed to get shifted in your path to have this kind of new start that you felt completely unprepared for. Some of you may have very well moved as a result of this situation as well. We have a lot of move cards here, so you might have been the one to move out or even move to a different state, different country when this came to a close here. So take that as it resonates, but I do feel like ultimately your guides are just, you know, it almost just feels like they just want to give you a hug because they recognize that this was a very difficult change to go through. But ultimately, I do feel like your higher self has been behind it in some way to get you shifted into that correct spot at just the right time for the next leg of your journey. So, in the good of what's to come, we have shift, the way to new potential. So again, I just feel like that Wheel of Fortune energy, it did show up here, where it's like pushed you in a different direction. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. I do think as you heal, you're going to see why this happened, is really what I'm getting from this. And so make sure you're not rushing the healing process. Like there's no set time for you to heal, right? It's going to be different for everyone, especially after what took place for you in this situation. I want to really quickly look at that card, like I was saying. And it's interesting, the numbers on these cards, it goes 10, 10, 11. So I do feel like there were some endings that took place here in order to line you up with a specific manifestation. Let's see. Light worker ignited. A shift of your consciousness, human evolution, the charisma of a powerful leader, the awareness of your thoughts, things coming into alignment with your highest purpose, your soul story, and uncovering your highest potential. And what's interesting, the self-care message says a need for humility. And you remember how I said that it's almost like this happened to humble you. And not out of, you know, trying to just inflict pain on you, but to open you up to a new path here. So I do feel like this was karmic. This was kind of a destined shift in your lifetime. Let's see what else we get here of what is coming in. We have the Knight of Cups. and the Two of Wands. With the Three of Swords, we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. And with the Queen of Swords, we have the Death card. What was I saying? You're going to see why this happened. Like, yep, that confirms it for me. And the Page of Swords. So I do feel like as you're healing, the clarity about why this had to happen is going to become very obvious. But what I am getting with these clarifiers here is that there is a new love offer coming in for you. And I feel like if you were to accept it at this time, even if you feel like you're not completely healed, it will be something that helps your healing process. It's like it speeds it up for you. And you're going to be able to see why this had to happen. As you get through that healing process, it's going to become quite obvious why it happened. You're going to be able to look back and go, yeah, that needed to end. But it's like you won't have that clarity until you get there. It's going to be like hindsight's 20/20 kind of thing. I feel like whatever love offer is coming in here, it is, I think you're going to weigh it up. I think you're going to have to make a choice here of whether or not you accept it, of course. And I think one of the things you're going to be focusing on is, is this worth my time? Because I feel like you put a lot of time and effort into this past situation and it didn't work out. And you're like, well, how do I know if this isn't going to work out? And you don't know, right? But I feel like if you were to accept it, the offer that is coming in is a solid offer. It's coming in as a pentacle. So there's something here that can be built upon, that will be grounded and steady and solid. It'll be a good start to a new foundation here. And again, I feel like it helps to contribute to your healing. So, interesting. And I feel like, I was talking about that Wheel of Fortune here, and how that's kind of what that card made me think of. With the Wheel of Fortune, we had the Three of Wands, and now just below that card, we have the Two of Wands. So I do feel like whoever's showing up here, it's gonna be, there's going to be like some sort of thing about this person or this dynamic that allows you to really step into your growth here. It's like there's more room to breathe, is what I feel like, than this past relationship. Like you'll notice a difference because there's more room for you, and this more expanded version of yourself, this more intuitive version of you. Like you've had all this growth here as a result of all this pain you went through, and somehow this person is able to hold space for that in a way that you've probably never experienced before. So that feels really good. It's interesting because I'm not really seeing, the only major arcana I'm getting here is the Death card. So this could be a Scorpio coming in, could be an air sign. Water with that Knight of Cups. But I do feel kind of like it hangs in the balance. It's like you're going to have to choose it. Now, of course, you don't have to choose it, and then something else will show up on your path. Look at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Four of Wands. So I do think whatever's coming in here definitely has some legs and may lead to a solid long-term commitment. So I hope that was helpful, Virgo. And, definitely take this time to look back on all the things you've experienced this past year, what you've survived, and how much you've healed already, and just how much growth you've had in yourself. And again, just how well you were able to handle something that happened so fast and threw you into completely uncharted territory here, right? So I hope you enjoy your week, the end of the month, the start of your holiday season, if you happen to celebrate Thanksgiving, and I will see you for the December forecast. Bye.